Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube NetSec channel. Today's topic we're gonna talk about the CyberArk Vault disaster recovery. As you can see from the network diagram, we have two Vault 192.168.2.21 and DR Vault 192.168.2.22 on our diagram, and we have PVWA and PSM has been set up, domain controller has been set up. In this lab, we're gonna build our DR vault and do failover and failback. Please make sure your PVWA CPN server working properly. And also to make sure your private ARC can log into your primary vault successfully. In our next step, we're gonna configure our vault.22 this machine, which is using IP 192.168.2.22. We're gonna install Vault server. We're also gonna install the high availability component. Let's start it. The installation files have been copied over to C drive CyberArk installation files folder. Let's start install server first. It's a standard installation steps as you install your main vault. I'm not gonna restart my computer now since we have to install private ARC client. So we have private ARC server installed. Next step is install private ARC client. Similar steps, right click on setup.exe file, run as setup. Now we're gonna do this. While DR Vault is rebooting, we can starting to enable primary Vault servers DR user. Login as administrator. Using administrative tools, user and groups, find out the DR user. Double click. By default, it is disabled. We're gonna enable it, change password. Click OK, close. Then we're gonna go back to our vault, drvault.22, this server. We're gonna log in. Gonna create a new server. Drvault IP will be .22. Default username, you can keep it empty. That will remember the last login the user that we can use the administrator. It's configured. Let's give it a login and try. Type in password you defined. Check in the users. Perfect. We have 3 safes and all kinds of default users. We also can check the private arc server running status. Looks okay. You also can check the services. Should be 5 of services. So we're gonna shut down our server because the disaster recovery cannot running on the server with private arc server is running. Go back to our installation folder. There's a disaster recovery 11.1 component here. Same as you run for CyberArk server and the client, private arc server and the client. Just run as administrator. This is Vault Disaster Recovery Setup Program. So company name, default folder. So now let our DR user and password, which we just enabled on our primary vault. We change the password, enable this user. So that's where you're gonna use in here. The DR user gonna be used to replicate the data from primary vault to DR vault. Primary vault IP is 21. Next. So now they're gonna verify the process. System is rebooting now. Let's wait it come back. Now we're gonna check the logs. We're gonna verify if the replication has been completed. CJava program files x86, private arc, PADR, private arc disaster recovery. There's a log file at the logs folder. PADR. There's a couple things we need to verify. Replication is running successfully. replicate and it, those two things. Confirmed or replicating safes has been done. PSM, password manager, PVWA, all been replicated. One more thing to verify is padr.arc configuration file. Let's remember failover mode is no. So that reminds us this machine is not in failover mode, it's still running in DR. We can check the services. Both private Arc server client services should be down and only disaster recovery service up. Private Arc server service is down. Database is up. Vault disaster recovery service is up. So it's monitoring the primary Arc, private Arc Vault server situation. It's monitoring that, and at the same time, it's replicating the data to the CyberArk database. Now we're gonna do some testing. We're gonna create a user in our private vault and create a new safe. And we will see once we stopped our primary vault, if the second DR vault can take over serving the PVWA, and the second vault has those new user and the safe. We don't need to change the password. We can set it never expires. Close. We're gonna create a new safe. Gonna create a new safe for the test DR1 user. So now everything ready. Now we can execute automatic failover test. For automatic failover test, we're gonna stop our primary vault server service. To simulate a DR situation.
You can look at the logs.
We run this command to monitor the log output to see what's happening here. Okay, we got some data after 5 minutes waiting. So we can see vault transaction failed. Timeout has expired. So attempt 1, 2, 3, 4 attempt to test vault availability failed. We are waiting the 5th time. Okay, as we can see, the 5th time failed, reached, and then vault availability gonna do fail over process, and they're synchronizing the data, and the vault service, which is our vault server services, will start it, and failover completed, and the PADR service is shut down. The whole disaster recovery service terminated. Now we can see the service status. Disaster recovery service has been terminated, stopped. The private Arc server services is up and running. Now we should be able to log into our private Arc, log into our DR Vault, and to check out those 2 users. And save. We created testing R1 save. We're gonna check our test DR1 user. We can also check out DR user. It's enabled. So we got to successfully failover. How about the PVWA? Was it still able to log in? No, because our PVWA doesn't know we have a DR vault. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change our vault configuration to tell PVWA server we have a DR vault available. Vault INI file. So in the address equal 192.168.2.21 this line, we need to add our second IP address here. So PVWA service gonna try both vault one by one. If they cannot reach first vault, they're gonna try second vault and try to reach it. So that's why we have 2 vault IP here. One is primary, second is our DR, which we already fail over to it. And the primary vault is not reachable. You're gonna do IS reset, of course. Okay, service is up. Let's log into administrator. We can log in. Bam, it's working. Working beautiful. And we're gonna check our safe. Test DR1 safe is here. That's all for our failover lab. Thank you for watching. In the next lab, we're going to talk about the failback to the primary, from DR to the primary.